rise to speak on this personal vote on the sale and supply of alcohol sales on Anzac Day morning, Good Friday, Easter Sunday and Christmas Day Amendment Bill, and some of the views that I'll express through this speech, some that are also would be expressed by my colleagues if they were here to speak tonight. But Madam Speaker, first to congratulate the member and just the way he dealt with this through the Justice Committee and being a member of the Justice Committee. It's highly skilled in a way, your experience of just trying to manage this the best you could. And it is a subject, and thinking about it today, how I'd even speak to it, that kind of pulls at your heartstrings because you're torn in different directions. But my reading on this, Madam Speaker, has been a little bit different from what some of the other members have spoken to. But my feeling through the Select Committee process was we actually heard the majority of people oppose this legislation change. And we heard, yes, from hospitality in particular, support for the bill. But through agencies such as Salvation Army, it was very clear how they opposed this extension to these 3.5 days. I want to say, Madam Speaker, from the start that there is a significance around these days, and I would never stand in this House and say that I'm a very religious person at all, but I respect the fact of where the tradition, especially around Easter and Christmas, comes from. And I think regardless of religious background or beliefs, we have, and I know from my childhood, we believe through tradition, if even it's not religion, just that those days hold significance. And for those thoughts, especially when I think around Christmas Day, it's for me Family Day. It's as simple as that. So it's around families spending time together. So the one disappointing thing I think I did take from, as we did try to massage this through the Justice Committee, was whether the bill was too wide or too narrow. And I'd actually say, and I've heard the sponsor of the bill say that this is a more narrow approach, but I'd actually say this is still quite a big bite of the cherry here, because we are talking Easter, Anzac and Christmas Day, and I thought maybe the member through Select Committee may have gone to the approach, and maybe if it got to this point of Committee of the Whole, of actually wondering of dropping out Christmas Day and Anzac Day, and not saying that would still get my support, but I think it would have been slightly different discussion if we were discussing just Easter and some of those abnormalities around the meals and trying to get the hospitality side around Easter sorted out. But, Madam Speaker, at the moment as we sit, the legislation as we have it, and in this bill, is really touching on licence, and I think that could got confused, and again to the member, that off-licence stuff, and obviously on Christmas Day we're not going to see supermarkets and that kind of stuff opened anyway, but it was trying to massage it through on licence and on those businesses that were already opening. But Madam Speaker, again, I would say through our legislation that we've got at the moment, even though it may frustrate some people, there is a balance there, and there is a balance between practicality and serving tradition. And in that sense, I think as much as some hospitality owners may struggle in aspects of the legislation, it does give that balance at the moment. At least on licence, you can have a meal and you can buy alcohol. It's not like there isn't a way not to get that scenario. this scenario here opens basically the floodgates a lot wider than we already have. If we go to something like Anzac Day, that again, on Anzac Day, there is that ability for RSAs to get their members already have the ability to consume alcohol, and there is the ability for RSAs to have that special licence. And we heard through RSAs actually quite a concern, even though the member was trying to do the adjustments, that was actually the RSAs got into a routine of already doing that special licence and managing that situation. And I think for a lot of Kiwis, a lot of New Zealanders, that 4 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the morning, how important, if the licence can be obtained, the fact I don't think you're going to see many people wanting to sit in those situations consuming large amounts of alcohol anyway. To the hospitality industry, there has been a lobby around this, and I think all MPs would have seen that email today, and I understand what they are asking for, but you've got to ask yourself too that you've got 361 and a half other days of trade, and where do you draw the line? And I think where I stand, you draw the line in our tradition and in our values. And we already have, as I say, Madam Speaker, the balance of the legislation that is already in place. I do want to touch on, again, the South Asian Army and around some of the other submissions we heard around addiction and harm, and no one can take it away that alcohol is the #1 drug for causing harm in our communities. And I think over time we understand, and trying to add that opportunity for a lot of members of our community, this would actually make that situation, especially for those organisations that are dealing with this at the coalface. They are the people that are picking up and having to look after and treat people and help people. So again, I don't think that is the way to go. On summing up, Madam Speaker, I personally oppose. I know the member has tried very hard to massage this through, but again, I just want to make the point that this bill has not narrowed. It has actually widened. If you actually read even around the cellar door exemptions, we've now gone from restricted days being on Easter Sunday to actually opening that up to every day. So the restriction hasn't got narrower, it's actually got wider. So on that, Madam Speaker, I think the legislation as we have it at the moment, there is the balance, there is the practicality, and we are serving our tradition. It is significant days that we are trying to muddle with here, and from my point of view, we should keep what we've got and use that the best we can.